It's Will Ferrell. Hey, I wanted to tell you, independent podcasts, support them now. All right, now on with the podcast.
This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 841. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Today, it's the return in studio of the amazing singer-songwriter KYE ALFRED HILLIG, coming down all the way from Seattle, Washington. He's playing a gig. Well, he played a gig last night at Vacation in San Francisco with his friend Pete Jordan.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And then we're going to talk to Madame Rootabega, Valentino, Bison Bentley, so that we can fight your boredom.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
So since the last time that you and I were meeting, Basil had an accident that left him bleeding, and I have no idea what caused the moment so defeating. But he's since had surgery and had some pain medicine, so he's sleeping, and he'll be walking in a couple of weeks neat.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
So remember to be careful when you walk your doggies.
Mike's
That's my little tip.
Daily
So then you can skip
Podcast.
the crazy huge dog
Yeah!
hospital bill that will make you spit and flip, etc. And we're also going to find out about music labels and how they're all done with Spotify. But oh, look who just walked in.
Hello, Mike Matthews. This is Madame Rootabega. I am so sorry to hear about Basil.
Oh, he's trying to take his cone off. Yeah, he's got the cone on. Because he can't... It happened to his paw. It was so weird. He was barking at a dog on the other side of a fence, as dogs are wont to do. And he hit something on his way to barking at the dog, something in the dirt. I never could find what it was. It's weird. It's a mystery. And Basil can't tell me what it was. So, yeah, luckily he missed the tendon, so everything is fine. His foot is healing. He just can't... Well, he's got to wear the cone so he don't lick it. And life will be better. Let's remain positive, right? But I was down, really down. This happened on Wednesday night. So Thursday and Friday, I was pretty much in a funk. But then having KYE ALFRED HILLIG and Pete Jordan stay the night last night made it all good. And we're going to talk to them in just a moment. But first, look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parenting attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, do you want us to maybe go over and talk to those people that had whatever was strange and sharp in front of their house today?
Yeah, we'll go and have a conversation with them.
Do you know that? Guys, no, I don't think you two are both threatening. Well, one of you's kind of threatening. And I don't see where this would go. And besides, I've already done my due diligence, my due investigating, and it's just nothing. It's weird. It just happened. And Basil was kind of going at an extreme frequency. You know, when he gets excited and he's a boxer, he's got a lot of power and strength and he's all muscle. And I think that it worked against him. So we just have to move on.
Yeah, okay, you know what? We're going to go and talk to them anyway, Dave.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to them. A couple of guys.
Do you know that? You know, you guys are like actors. You're not even really the characters you're playing there. So I don't see how you're going to be that threatening sort of East Coast mob type person.
Who's saying that we're East Coast mobs days? That's not what we're doing here. We're kind people. Heck, we could be people that ride rodeos. They like the Bonita. She's beautiful.
You know, you caused the disgruntled fiddle player to get quite jealous last time you were on.
I know, I triggered something there.
Also, the brewmaster made a hemp root beer, and, well, that caused some problems, too. We almost got shut down here at Cafe Anyway because of that. And I don't want to see the marriage between Bonita and the disgruntled fiddle player get broken up because of you. I think she did take a little bit of a shine to you. Mike, maybe it was more of a little bit of a shining. Do you know that? Are you saying that their relationship is more Stephen King in nature? Who's that? You know, this is fascinating. Spotify has the free listening to music. But Universal Music Group has said enough, according to TheVerge.com. They are the largest of all labels. They're beginning to question the freemium model that helped bring in over $1 billion in revenue from U.S. streaming last year. Universal is leveraging current contract negotiations with Spotify to pressure the streaming service to put harsher limits on its free service. The label hopes that such a move would convert more free users into paid subscriptions. That word just caused my tongue to leave my face, but I got it back. Those premium paid subscriptions cost like $10 per month. Well, other labels are coming to the conclusion that ad-supported free streaming services need to be adjusted. Unnamed sources say that most labels are pushing for more limits on free music streaming. Those. So what might happen? The labels may seek to limit the amount of music users can listen to without paying up, or they might hope to limit all free streaming to Pandora-like radio stations instead of on-demand music. Spotify and RDO. I love Dio. You're just a rainbow in the dark. They allow for unlimited free on-demand streaming on computers, but limit mobile streaming to shuffled radio-like services. Paid subscribers get full mobile streaming, offline access, higher quality, and no ads. You know what I don't understand, even though this station is on it, is TuneIn. They say, oh yeah, tell us what band you like. And I thought, oh, this is like Pandora. It's going to pick a bunch of songs by the band. No. It took me to a radio station that was playing that band at that moment, which means I heard like maybe 30 seconds of that song that I wanted to hear, or that band. Made no sense to me. At any rate, listen to us on TuneIn, on the TuneIn radio app. In the past, the labels were very supportive of free streaming. They saw it as a way to bring new customers and money into a declining industry. But as streaming grows and money continues to shift away from digital downloads and physical media, it seems the labels are becoming less comfortable. Spotify says that a substantial free service is the only proven way to get new paid subscribers, and it argues that data shows that streaming isn't destroying proven revenue streams like iTunes. Well, what do you think about all this? Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com is where you can email the show. We read your comments on the section Emails from Email. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. You can listen to the show on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, Ameris Stream Live. And yes, if you do listen to the show on iTunes, rate and comment on the show like Will Ferrell was talking about, I think, at the beginning of the show. Indie podcasts are it, but you never see them on the front pages of Stitcher and iTunes. It's always that damn Ira Glass. That oh, excuse me.
This show is clean.
Oops, sorry. This show is clean, guy. Yeah, so that's why you need to help this and other independent podcasts by listening to them and supporting them in other ways. Like the Amazon link that we have at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. If you want to buy anything on Amazon, go to that first. Click on the Amazon link and buy that through MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and we get some support from that. Hey, check me out too on the, what's it called? It's a radio station, Wolverine Radio in Connecticut, Griswold, Connecticut. I'm on that station 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Weekdays. Of course, that is Eastern time, just to let you know. And then tell your friends about the show through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Yelp, and Tumblr. Like the Facebook page when I post a new show. Share it with your friends. Follow me on Twitter. When I tweet the show, retweet that to your friends, and that helps us out too. There's also the blog, the Daily Podcast Picture, and all my past interviews at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And speaking of interviews...
Into an interview.
All right, so I got that, so I can erase it later. Kai, say something.
Something for you.
And then you say something, Pete.
My butt is firm and bouncy.
From all that volleyball.
What's that looking? Hashtag car farts.
One, two.
Hashtag it's coming out of me.
So this is awesome. We've only done this once before, where we had KYE ALFRED HILLIG here. Last time he was here with Daniel G. Harmon, and this time he's here with Pete Jordan. Everybody, put your hands together for KYE ALFRED HILLIG.
Yay! I'd clap, but
Basil's in your lap.
Yeah, there's no clapping.
And Basil's a hot stripper we rented. That's not nice. No, Basil's my boxer who broke. He cut his foot open, paw, front left paw, and you're helping him after. Well, he had surgery a couple days ago, and now he's got a big dressing on it, and he's sitting on your lap for comfort.
Yeah, I'm healing him through the power of petting.
They're healing each other.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what animals do. They heal us, and we heal them. Oh, I heard a big sigh from Basil.
Big boxer sigh.
Yeah.
So we have been having so much fun. We had so your manager guy Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys.
That's his name.
Brian Jurgen von Tittlemouse. Wait a minute. It's
Brian Jax Teller.
Brian Jackson. Here behind me, there he's waving.
Hello.
We've learned all about the paleo diet from him. We've learned all about the vegetarian diet from KYE, and you guys stayed the night here at my house, and there was no nudity involved that I was aware of, so that's good.
No.
We keep it secret.
Except Basil was naked.
He's always naked.
He looks so happy. Wait, I got photo opportunity here on the podcast. Okay. He looks so happy. I'm posting this with this episode. This is the first time Pete Jordan's been on the show. So last time you had Daniel G. Harmon, and now you have Pete Jordan of the band Cloud Person. And I'm just going to talk to you guys and, maybe find out exactly what's wrong with me.
Okay.
If we could nail that down. But KYE, Pete, what's new? That's my question on the sheet.
That's all that's written on there?
Yeah. That's KYE talking right there.
Oh, yeah, I am KYE. What's new? Well, I've got Basil on my lap here.
He's going to go to sleep now.
I hope so. That would make me really happy. Like I told you earlier, my cat died this last week before we left on the tour.
Aww.
And being able to spend time with Basil is making my inner child celebrate.
Yay. Basil, if Basil saw your cat, he would gladly chase the cat.
I appreciate that.
But he respects boundaries for cats, too. When the cat turns around and puffs up his hair, and he backs the crap up.
And he doesn't hump them or...
No.
Okay.
I haven't seen
Unless
a dog
they want it.
Yeah, unless they really want to be humped by a dog.
My friend's dog got spayed recently, and it had historically humped me quite a bit, and I thought after the spading that would be the end of that. Not so much. I was over there last week, and it was still randy, even though it had been spayed, so...
You can't blame him.
It's still possible.
Okay.
Has a sex drive.
I have that
still.
reaction with KYE all the time.
So it doesn't matter. Even if you remove the testicles, there's still...
Well, this was a lady. This was a lady dog.
Oh, I should have listened better. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
So they removed the lady testicles?
They removed her lady testicles out of her inner ovum.
I took biology.
Okay, I shouldn't invent words.
A lady
then.
dog and a man dog love each other very much.
They remove each other's inner testicles.
I'm going to boost your mic up, Pete Jordan.
Oh.
Because you're saying this money stuff, and I'm losing all of it.
All I say is gold.
There we go. Okay. And I'm going to erase that buzz sound that I hear on your mic, which I don't know what it is, but...
That's my mouth breathing.
There might be a bee in your microphone. Or it might just be a really good microphone, and I'm not used to that. So
could be his pacemaker.
What? Pete? You're so young.
I think so.
He lives off of mostly barbecue, though.
My brain is 31, but my body is about 85.
Fact.
Yep.
No.
Ish.
I disagree.
He sleeps like what you'd think Santa Claus would sound like when he was sleeping. Dreaming of candy canes. And
I will live forever and give presents to the children.
That's why I woke up this morning and there was snow coming down. How did you like sleeping on the couch in the living room?
It was delightful. I was just sad that Basil didn't sleep next to me on his bed. I was so sad I curled up in his bed for the remainder of the night.
You didn't create an inviting enough environment
Yeah.
for Basil.
like,
he did not feel safe with you.
The smell
like he
ain't
does
good
with me,
enough.
obviously. You feel safe, don't you?
I have another question for you, if I may fire this off at one time. Now, Pete, how do you get into making music? How did you get into making music, Pete?
When I was super young, well, there was always a piano in our house. And when I was like 3 or 4, and my sisters were taking piano lessons. So I just started banging on it and took piano lessons. And then trumpet when I was like 9. And then I got a guitar when I was like 14. And yeah, just always been doing it.
I just have to say, I've never seen you play live before, and then last night at vacation I saw you play, and that is you bring things out of the guitar. It's like an ocean just hitting you, and like all the young kids that were down there in the vacation, they were like, "What the?
Like, why is that guy punching his guitar?"
And they were
his
like,
hammy
just,
fists.
They were like. People were going through epiphanies watching you. They were just like, these young kids were like, what is he? Whoa!
Yeah, clutching their skateboards and
backing slowly off.
I don't know. You probably heard, who sang
Moon River.
No, Woodstock.
Jimi Hendrix. Janis Joplin. I don't know, was Janis Joplin there?
I want to say Isaac Hayes, but I'm so wrong. It's
You mean the guy that played solo for like way too long?
Soupy Sales.
Yeah, he did. He did. Here Comes the Sun, at Woodstock. Anyone?
That's George Harrison, isn't it?
It
Was it a solo acoustic guy?
It'll come to me in a second. Yeah, solo acoustic guy.
I remember there was a guy that had to like cover for extra long because some band wasn't there or something, and I think that's who you're talking
Soupy.
about.
It was Soupy Sales.
I'm gonna. It was Soupy.
William Shatner, spoken word, right?
I wish he was at Woodstock. That would have been. I would have bought that DVD.
Covering Black Flag from the future.
I've been ignoring that DVD for decades, and if I had discovered that Shatner was there, I would have bought the cheap version of
Richie
it on
Havens!
eBay or something.
Yeah.
Richie. So it felt very Richie Havens to me.
Cool. Yeah,
What you were
that guy
doing.
was nuts the way he beat the guitar up.
Just so I loved it. I loved how you were playing. So
Thank
anyway,
you.
it was. You're very musical. Do you still play the trumpet at all?
Yeah, I do actually. I haven't done it a whole lot in Cloud Person, but I actually went to college for jazz performance on trumpet, and then like at some point was like, no more jazz, only rock. So I put it down for like 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
And now we're just we added a guitar player and went from like folk to psychedelic rock recently, and now I feel more comfortable putting the guitar down, and we're going to start incorporating trumpet back in.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I played a little bit of trumpet on the Monochrome Places release, but it's not very forefront. It's just kind of background.
What about Cloud Person? Like, what was its origins? And it's you've got a bunch of people in it.
Yeah, so it started out like I was in this kind of rock band that didn't really do much, and then that fell apart, and I was like, I'm done with rock. I want a folk band. And
But I enjoyed Gin Blossoms.
yeah, well, I mean, we hit the road, and and all of us died. But no, so it was my solo moniker, and then I added some buddies on violin and bass, upright bass, and we were a folk trio for a while, and then we added drums and keys, and stayed kind of a folk rock, and then we got rid of the violin and added a guitar, and decided to move into psychedelic rock.
See, okay, so I'm going to play Hospital King.
So yeah, so this EP was like before the violin player left, and right after the guitar player started. So it's kind of a bridge between the old folk sound and the new psych rock sound.
I see.
Which we'll be doing a full length this summer.
Okay, so yeah, it's got a bunch of changes in the tempo, and it kind of reminds me of prog rock in a way, because
Nice.
kind of the way Kansas explored prog rock, and then you go into all the. But yet you've got your voice and your vocals and the voice that with the singing, and I have no question here, right?
Oh no, I just Dust in the Wind is a good description of what he does. I think
Yeah.
'Cause in the end, all we are is indeed dust in the wind.
and most of our creations.
But there's just all these layers and changes, and it's so deep and like it's chasmic.
Most of that is the phenomenal musicians I play with. They layer it and add so much. Like, me acoustic is fine, but with the band playing with me, it's just this wall of sound that...
But we were talking about Norway and the fjords and everything last night, and it brought that up
And the
for me
shooter
too.
there.
Awesome.
The shooter that went into that Boy Scout camp.
He's my inspiration.
Sad.
Oh, man.
My flag is still at half-mast. It really
I
is.
wouldn't say that.
Now, I don't know what you're saying,
God.
but that's only because I don't watch the news.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I caught it only peripherally, and it's only because I have a Facebook page.
I love your Facebook page, by the way, Kai. I wanted to ask you this question. Tell me about
I will talk about my Facebook page all day long.
Tell me about, and we will play Hospital King in a moment, but tell me what is up with your nightmarishly amazing email newsletter, Kai?
Oh, yeah.
The name, I think, gives away nothing about what it really is. It's really just I'll take diary entries. I will cut them up with skizzers. I will.
What are skizzers?
Skizzers is the proper way of saying scissors, and a lot of people get that wrong, and it's very upsetting to me. They need to go back to school. And
He
get
will
their
open
grammar.
hand slap you.
Yeah, I have open. I've talked a lot about my open hand slapping of men on this tour. It has happened, but I started a email newsletter because people said you should do that.
Okay.
And so I just fill it full of a bunch of garbage, and I send it into people's inboxes, and I try to get them to buy my stuff so that I can stop living in a cardboard box out back of my mom's house.
Oh.
With my laptop.
What was that story? Did you... Yeah, you said it on stage last night, Kai, about somebody having their plasma in a box.
It was a gentleman. There was a upright gentleman from... barely upright. He was kind of maybe hunched a bit. In Portland the other night, he was... There's a lot of what some people would call the homeless in Portland.
Transients.
Whoa, that's a derogatory term.
Whoa, is it?
I would not call them transients. People who don't currently have lodging.
Technically, right now, I'm a transient.
Yes. So this gentleman had a box of his own vomit, and had some blood in it. He had a box of bloody vomit. It was not a judgment. I admired his bravery to hold that about the street, and it was kind of a disturbing potpourri. That was.
Look, Basil's even disturbed by your story.
I know, it's okay, Basil.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Stay close, Basil. I'll keep you safe.
But what I want to ask you, Kai, is because
Yes.
are you still a mortician?
I am still a mortician.
And you've seen the worst of it, haven't you?
I've seen bodies in every state except for in jars.
Wow. So you weren't really disturbed by it?
I barely caught it. Brian mentioned it offhandedly.
okay.
So
Brian-
it's really him that's going to have to suffer with the night terrors and such.
By the way, Brian, I am really trying to have good posture because you're going to be filming us. And last time you filmed me, I was like so hunched over, an old man. I was like, I have got to get better posture. So
We seem like you've been working out since then. Are you kind of upper body looks really like Herculaic.
Thank you. Wow. What I've been trying to do, and Brian is also into. Are you doing the CrossFit?
He's a CrossFit guy.
Kind of.
Yeah, he totally does CrossFit.
But I kind of like what CrossFit does in the one way, even though I do call them CrossFitiots, but they have these workout plans where you start with like, is it where you build, like you do 10 push-ups, then it goes like to 11 push-ups, then 12, and then they do this increasing. I
Yeah.
do the opposite. I
go backwards?
I'll start like at 5 and then go to negative 0.5.
Yeah, but I've already done them. I did them, 4 weeks ago or whatever.
Right. So it's like a bank, the whole system where
Yeah.
they borrow in Wall Street and everything.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's working for you.
Thank you.
Head to toe, you look like
But
an ice skater.
Brian is much more buff. I need to definitely try. You know what I hate is people that don't work out and they have these amazing.
Like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the guy that does the voice of Clem, I don't know if you ever heard Clem on my podcast. He's this ultra racist conservative guy. He's
That
played
sounds
by
like Pete.
He's played by
Like me.
Pete is so racist. Everything he says.
Everywhere we go, it's really
Mama,
upsetting.
Are you proud now?
Everything.
hard
I'm
to be
just like,
around.
oh man, we get it. You're white. Okay.
Yeah,
And-
enough, Pete.
So
enough.
white.
When does the hurting stop?
So Clem, played by my ex-brother-in-law.
Yes.
My ex-brother-in-law, he's got these amazing huge arms, and he does hardly any working out at all. He's like 30, it makes me sick. And the women just fall on him because they're always
because he's roofied them.
That's
No,
I don't. Roofied with his good looks.
Oh, roofied
Not
by
with
handsomeness.
Them look.
Naturally,
That's what happened.
the way God intended.
I guess what I'm really trying to say is Hospital King's a great song. Let's play it right now because I love all the prog rock kind of feel to it. And
Awesome.
what was the inspiration for it?
The song is about friends comparing grief, kind of like having a pissing match of, oh, my grief is more deep, you know. Like,
Oh my God, I do not want to be in this conversation.
It's been a long car ride.
Yeah. It was like, you know, everyone has their own tragedy, and if you have a friend who has, you know, worse tragedy.
Do you think that's a guy thing where we're competing? We're always like competing?
I think it's a human thing.
Oh, okay.
I think guys are more competitive, and this was between a few guy friends and I, but it's just like, you know, let's say someone's parent dies, or someone's, you know, animal dies. It's like both people are feeling it really heavily. The one person might feel like, oh, well, what are you talking about? Mine's worse. You know? So
Right, so there's a church group in Castro Valley. I don't know if you saw it when you drove in. There's these 3 crosses that when you come through when you enter the valley, and this church has been here for like 50 years or whatever. But they do this. A friend of mine goes to it, and he dragged me along one time because I was the voice. He animated something, and I did the voice for it. I did like, you know, like kind of like a really quick. Make sure to come to this event because it was to promote this thing they were doing, and what they do is they get together as a group of men and they all just complain about what's, you know, well, I got drunk and crashed the car again.
my prostate.
Lord help me. And that's what they do at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday.
That sounds delightful.
Reasonable.
And then they go to work. And I talked to guys afterward. Wasn't this great? This is your first time? Well, wasn't this great? You got? Don't you see? Because we're all Southern here in Castro Valley. Can't you see that this helps us? Because Jesus is coming in and helping us. Because we all fall short in the Lord's eyes.
Isn't it interesting how anytime, and I do this too, I'm guilty of this too, anytime you want to make somebody sound stupid, you give them that voice.
Jeff Foxworthy.
I did it like a day ago.
Yeah. Jeff Foxworthy says that too.
Yeah.
My grandma had a very heavy Oklahoman accent, and I would do that sort of thing, and she'd be like, Peter! Like, don't make fun of them because they have a Southern accent.
Yeah, we're not all dumb. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
Wait, Pete, don't you also have the aunt that was German with the butcher knife, or who was that?
No, that was Brian.
Sorry, Brian.
That was Brian.
That was Brian's awesome story about his German aunt that always had a butcher knife.
Brian has had an interesting life.
There's only 3 mics. We need here. I'm going to give you mine. Oh wait, I got the cords too short. Sorry. Well, you can come over here and sit on my lap, man. That's what I want to, because I just deducted a couple IQ
He
points.
started standing up, and then
Brian's
he sat
regressing
back
because
down.
you just hit some really traumatic stuff that happened as a kid. Now Brian's gonna be like, yeah, there you go. He's in fetal position,
rocking back and forth.
So this
wanting
is
his Cabbage Patch Kid.
comparing the depressing stories was the impetus for the song.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's play it, shall we?
Yay!
It is the group Cloud Person, which Pete Jordan is a major instrumental rock of this band. Whoa, that had like 2 meanings. Instrumental rock, like you were rock, but you're instrumental, but then there's also instrumental rock. Does anybody see the profundity?
Oh, man.
You did a good thing there.
Oh, God.
I like what you've done.
That's
What?
mind-blowing.
There's a reason you're running this thing.
Do you know what people are going to say about this podcast?
That you're a genius?
No, this is what happens, okay? You get these people that go, hey, Pete Jordan is in this podcast, but you got to fast forward 15 minutes into it because, you know, they got to get past all the characters I do.
Yeah.
And all that.
That's the best part.
Thank you. And then they're going to say, oh, and the guy that interviews him, he's like really weird. He's like crazy and stuff. But Pete's funny. You got to listen, and he plays a song.
Yeah, you just have to get past all the cartoons at the beginning.
Yeah, just get past the part where it makes no sense with the voices. I don't get it.
Too long, didn't listen.
So anyway, without any further ado, it is Pete Jordan's Cloud Person, Hospital King on Mike's Daily Podcast. We're talking up the intro.
Everything's fine, Basil.
Don't be so hard on yourself for losing. I don't think you had it in your soul to
bristle harder than any suggestion that you can take the wheel and save the day. It's golden. I'm the king of this lonely hospital, and the days are long since gone when I could look you in the eye without seeing a lie. The way you used to be said is the brightest bullshit. I can see the mouths moving, but I can't without your silver tongue when my face is golden. I'm the king of this lonely hospital.
Jordan and the band Cloud Person and Hospital King as we go outside of Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. It is Mike Matthews, and I will have part 2 of my Into It interview and more music from Pete Jordan of Cloud Person tomorrow. We'll also hear him play live, and we'll also get to more stuff with KYE ALFRED HILLIG and hear him play live in an upcoming episode.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture is our wonderful Basil the Boxer, and he was not chewing on the microphone like he is right now. Don't do that, Basil. That's expensive equipment, even though it does have a low hum, a buzz, like a bee. And you can see the couch, the red couch, that KYE ALFRED HILLIG and Pete Jordan were sitting on as I interviewed them not too long ago here. See that picture now, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Michael Matthews, those two guys are very attractive.
Yes, they are, madam. And you know, I think they could probably write you a song and you'd be quite happy.
I would, Michael Matthews, instead of what I am right now, which is forlorn.
Why are you forlorn?
Because I feel so bad about my soul.
That is a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Next show, part 2 of my Into It interview with Pete Jordan of Cloud Person and KYE HILLIG. Plus, we will hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!